One of my favorite things about this time of the year is watching how things start to evolve in the NFL, and watching all the different stages that everybody has to go through to really understand what it takes to make it on the team for opening day. And the funny thing about making it on the team is just because you're on the team opening day doesn't mean you're going to be on the team in week 2. So I wanted to make a video and give a little bit of context about what is happening, what people can expect to see, because I know that there's a lot of new fans that are watching football, a lot of new people that are watching the NFL. So I wanted to make a video and talk about it. I also want to mention that I also got a new mic, and so I'm testing out different sounds and testing out different things. So I hope this goes well. I don't really know, but we'll see what's happening. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what NFL offseason looks like. And so I hear so often people will say that college football is starting to be like the NFL, starting to trend towards the NFL. You have to treat this like the NFL. The truth of the matter is the NFL and college are two separate things. They play the same sport, but the way that things come together are totally different. And while I understand why people want to say that college is like the NFL, it absolutely is not like the NFL. To me, the only real similarity between college football and the NFL is the transfer portal, because the transfer portal is allowing players to get paid to play. And so that is something that is new. And so that is where the comparison comes from college to the NFL. Personally, I don't think college and NFL has a lot to do with each other, because for a multitude of reasons, but mostly because of the size of the school. There's 132, 133 college programs. There's 32 NFL teams, and it is a business. It is strictly business. So I wanted to give some details about what to expect as we move into the summer months, because as a football fan, this is usually, a slower time. There's not a lot of things happening. But for me, I love this part of football because I feel like this is where you get to see what your team is trying to do. You get to see the development of your team, and you just get to see some of the young guys come in. I often equate this. So I always say, like, the first day of the draft, I really don't care to watch. I'm really curious about day 2 and day 3 to see the players that go, to see the things that happen, to really try to understand like the totality of a team's vision. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about the process and what to look forward to as we're leading up to the NFL season. So the first thing you're going to start seeing is rookie minicamp. And so what rookie minicamp is all the people that were rookies that got drafted, all the people that are undrafted free agents that got signed, and other people that the teams have decided that they want to bring in, they will be at rookie minicamp. And so a lot of times I feel like this is a great time for college athletes to really get acclimated to the NFL, get acclimated to playbooks, the speed, and just to kind of really see the competition. I think there's not a lot of college football programs right now that are built that have a lot of NFL talent. And so this is a unique opportunity to really be able to see how your talent can compare to other people that are in similar situations like you. The veterans aren't there during this time. This is merely just a time where the rookies, the undrafted free agencies, and the younger athletes are able to come together on their team and kind of figure out what's happening and trying to make their mark and make their impact on the NFL team. I will say the one thing about the NFL that I love to hate is it is a business. It is strictly business. At any point, at any time, the NFL can let you go. They don't need a reason to let you go. They can simply just say, your services are no longer needed and you can go. And so that's why for me, I always fight for players to get those good sign-on bonuses. And I always hope for them that they are able to understand that this is a business coming into this, and they don't think that just because they're on a team today that they're always going to be on that certain team. So that is another thing to look out for. After rookie minicamp is over, the next thing that you have are OTAs. And so I think OTAs actually means like optional workouts with the team. So the thing about OTAs though is it's a really good time to really be able to see all the different athletes that are going to happen. And so for college athletes, this will really be the first time where they will be able to see the veterans, where they will be able to see what's happening. How do you measure up? Where they will be able to, in essence, see their competition. Everyone is battling for the same type of spots. The NFL it is what it is. It's just like you've been battling your whole life in football, you are also battling OTAs. I also think that OTAs give an interesting perspective on contract situations for other players. And so you might see some people that are like, I'm not going to OTAs, it's optional, it's this and that. One thing I will always say in business, anytime something is optional, but the thing can actually help you progress at your job, you shouldn't take it as optional unless you're a veteran, unless you already have a place to go. But OTAs are another place where you will be evaluating talent, where people will kind of see how strong you are, what you can do, what you can't do. Again, like I will continue to say, you can also be cut. So I think what my whole point in making this video was for people to understand that the NFL is not college. The way the NFL works, just because you're on the team today, it doesn't mean you're going to be there. So after OTAs, if you're not cutting it, you can also be cut. If you had a great mini camp and then you came to OTAs and you're just not that great, or you're not working hard, or you're not doing certain things, you can also be cut during OTAs. That's just how it goes. The next thing that happens in the NFL is the mini training camp. And so the mini training camp usually happens for a short period of time. It's like a shortened version of what to expect when full-blown training camp starts. And again, evaluating talent, you're getting to see where you're at. You're getting to really understand the playbook, understand the speed of the NFL, understand the different ways of working, and understanding how to be a pro. My favorite thing, I think, about what's happening right now in the offseason for the NFL is this is similar to like a college student joining your program in the spring. And so if you join the program in the spring, you really get to see like what's happening at this school, right? You get to understand the playbooks, you get to meet the coaches, you get to meet the players, you get to meet all those things, and that's great. I think the difference for the NFL is that this happens over a period of time. And so each of these little steps are really gearing you up towards training camp. So training camp is the final thing. That's the final moment. Usually teams go to training camp with 90 people. 90 people is the cap that is set in place by the NFL. So no more than 90 people are allowed to be at training camp. And training camp is what I would liken to back in my days. Full blown, like 2 days, full blown, you get to work. It's a full day of football. It's all football all the time. Yes, you get breaks, but it's grueling. It's practice, it's weights, it's film, it's all of the things that you would do during the regular season. But I say it's multiplied. A lot of people might ask me, like, how do you know all this? Why do you know? What do you do? I've been a part of this process from so many different angles. So whether it's been a friend that's been through it, whether it's been somebody that I'm dating that's been through it, whether it's been other people that I know that are going through it, other people that I've known my whole life, not my whole life, that's kind of dramatic, but people that I've known that have gone through this process. And it is a grueling process and it is intense. And training camp is a serious thing. And like I said, with all the other things, at any moment, training camp is like your deciding factor. The thing about training camp is that you also will get to play usually in preseason games. Just because you're on the team doesn't mean you're going to get to play in preseason. But most likely you will get to play because that's the time where the team is kind of figuring out who you are and what you can do in game-like speed. The other thing I just want to end this video on saying is when you get to training camp, the end of training camp is when they trim the rosters down to 53 people. So just think about that for a second. You're going from 90 people down to 53 people. And so that is the biggest cut that will happen throughout this whole time. And so if you are on that 53-man roster, and you are able to be on the week 1 team or whatever, you're on the 53-man, you've heard 53-man, you've heard active roster, same thing. You're there. I will say this though, just because you're one of the 53 doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be one of the 46 that is active on game day. So my whole point in saying all of this is you start with this big pond of players. You start with a lot of different things, a lot of different moving parts. And as you work through, you're constantly being evaluated. They're constantly figuring out if you should be with this organization, if you are a good pick, if you fit, if you mesh well, if your body is working right. You have to stay healthy. You have to do all those things, right? And you're often playing for a contract. A lot of the earlier you were drafted in the draft is a better opportunity of you making the team. However, that's not always true, because if you come in as an undrafted free agent and you outwork some of these other guys, like, you could make it. And so I wanted to make this video to give a little bit of context about what's happening in the NFL, because just because you're on an NFL team today doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be on an NFL team tomorrow. And it really doesn't mean that you're going to even be invited to training camp when it gets to 90 people that are available for training camp. And then if you make that 90 training camp roster, which is phenomenal, then it goes down to 53 people. And so everybody is battling for 53 roster spots, and every team breaks down roster spots differently. But that is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to get on that 53-man roster. And then after you make that 53-man roster, the next goal is to be active on game day and actually see the field. So there's a lot of moving parts happening right now. Don't let some of the things on Twitter and different things that are being thrown around confuse you about where we're at in the process. It's going to take time. It's going to continue to happen. Players, unfortunately, also are going to get hurt. Some players aren't going to need to or have to really show up to some of these things just because who they are. But as a whole, majority of players need to be present. Majority of players, this is the work they put in to look great during the season. And as you all know, I am an avid NFL watcher. I love the NFL more than college, maybe because the business aspect of the NFL, being a businesswoman, like I said before, I have a love-hate with business, but I love that the NFL is like, if you can cut it, you can cut it, great. And if you can't cut it, you can't cut it. It just is what it is. And the roster is constantly evolving. So once you leave a team, it doesn't mean it's over for you. That's why you have agents and that's why you have different things. But the whole point in saying this is so much is about to happen. You're seeing teams that are back at rookie mini camp. You're seeing teams kind of come back. You're seeing contracts happen. You're seeing different things happen. So I would just say buckle up. It's a long ride. It's a crazy ride. It's a fun ride if you're a fan. But this is what it is. This is the NFL. This is the NFL coming back. This is the NFL slowly getting back into their rhythm. And so just watch and see, like, be a fan, be a supporter, be happy, follow your guys, do what you want to do. I'm a huge supporter of, I don't follow certain players. I never have followed certain players. I only follow programs because that's just how I am as a fan. So buckle up. This is it. Like, we're back. Rookie mini camp is off for some teams, and the other teams are coming. And so here we are. Like, this is the moment. This is what we have all been waiting for. So let's just see how this goes. Let's see who makes it. Let's see who doesn't. And let's see how this all shapes out. Interested to see what people think. I know there's a lot of new people watching football. I know there's a lot of new people that are watching certain players as they transition to the NFL. And I just wanted to let you know, here are some things to look out for. Here are some things to consider as we're gearing up for the NFL this season. So again, let me know what you think in the comments below. I love talking all things NFL. I will consistently say I'm not an X's and O's girl. That is not where I shine. But I keep thinking that I might become an X's and O's girl. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm not. But I like all the other things that happen with football and the building of the team and the training and figuring out different things like that. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you want more content like this. Let me know if you want to hear more about the NFL and more about what's really happening in that space, because I will be happy to make videos and talk more about it. So thank you so much for watching.